children. Hope you are doing well. Okay, so today we are going to do the poem Upside Down by Alexander Kushner. So now I know that when you happen to write a critical answer for your O-level exam, you have to write some lines about the poet or the writer as well. So for that, I'll give you some points about this writer. So actually, Alexander Kushner is a Russian poet. He taught Russian literature during 5 years after his graduation, and after that, he became a full-time writer and poet. He has published more than 15 collections of his poetry and 2 books of essays. He is the one of best lyrical poets in 20th century. His main themes were nature and the environment, history and memory, love and relationships, and joy's identity and culture, etc. So these are the points about Alexander Kushner, but no need to study all these points. It's enough to study only 2 or 3 points because now it's good that if you have a knowledge about these writers, but I know that it's very difficult to remember all these things. So actually for the paper, it's enough to remember only 2 or 3 lines. Okay, we'll move to the poem now. I know that you have the poem with you, so I'm not going to read this whole poem, because we are going to read it again while analyzing the poem. And after analyzing the poem, we are going to discuss about the themes as well and some paper questions. This is the first stanza of the poem. Once there lived an upside down who was the talk of all the town. If he was told to turn to right, he turned to left out of spite. Okay, children. So now don't write anything. Just listen to me. After I explain this stanza, you can write by pausing my video. So, once there lived an upside down. It's like the poet is going to tell us a story. Once there lived. So, it's starting like a story. So, we can say that poet is going to narrate a story. It's like narrating a story. And an upside down, lived an upside down. It's the name of this person. Now, in our society also, we know for some people, others have created some names. So, likewise, for this person also, in the society, the people use another name. It's like a pet name or nickname, upside down. And by the word upside down, we can say that this person must be a little bit strange person. That's why they put a name like this. Otherwise, they can put another name. No, upside down means a little bit strange. The name is also strange. So we can say that there's a hint or a clue to show that this person is also a little bit strange. Who was the talk of all the town? And we kept that idea is becoming strong. Why? Because he says that who was the talk of all the town. It means all the town, the people in the town talk about this upside down. It means he is a well-famous person in the town and he is the topic of every people in the town. If he was told to turn to right, he turned to left out of spite. Now this is the strange of this person. If he was told to turn to right, he turned to left out of spite. Out of spite means what? Out of spite means malicious. It means without thinking about others, by neglecting others, by ignoring others, he turns left. Okay, from these last two stanzas, we can say, we can have an idea that sometimes this person can be purposely doing this, or else sometimes there may be some strange behavior of this man, not purposely, that may be his way. And you can see the language is also very simple. So the poet has used a very simple language to the whole poem. When we read the other stanzas also, you will be able to understand that all the stanzas are very simple. So he has used a very simple language to give the idea very clearly to the readers. And it's a figurative language. Why we say so? Who was the talk of all the town? It gives us a very good idea, very good hint about this man. And you can see a good rhyming pattern as well. Upside down and town. Right and spite. So you can see a good rhyming pattern as well. Okay, we'll move to the others, to the next stanza. If he went sailing in a boat, no one could make him understand why he seemed to be afloat and what had happened to the land. Now, see, in here, if he went sailing in a boat, no one could make him understand why he seemed to be afloat. It means he can't understand the difference between the water and land. He doesn't know when the boat goes on the water, it's floating, it's float. But here, he can't understand that logic. So in a way, we can say that this man is very strange. Sometimes he may be a normal person, but a stupid person. And sometimes we can say he maybe has some disorder uh, within himself. So we can't laugh at him by telling him a stupid, because we can see into this situation in a very sympathetic way. He read his letters backside four and wrote his letters backside four. So, if a ton was to be read, he read it, not the dunderhead. So, in here, the poet has emphasized that this person is strange. We can say, actually, now we can directly say that this person has a disorder. Or else, sometimes we can say uh, he doesn't have a good education. So because of that, sometimes he maybe reads his letters uh, back to forth. Or sometimes he writes his letters also from back to forth. But there's a hint also, because he may be, he's also, sometimes he maybe has having any, sometimes he maybe have any disorder. If he reads like this, how can the others understand him? So other people can't understand him. And how he is going to convey his ideas with other people in the world? So that is also, we must think about that way as well. So actually we feel love towards this man. Actually, it's a very sympathetic incident. So, because others can't understand what he has written or what he says, but the poet has mentioned as dunderhead. Dunderhead means a stupid person. This may be the way that society sees him. So it should not be done by ourselves, because there may be people who have these kind of disorders, uh, and sometimes you may get to know that by reading the other stanzas also, we can say that this person is having some phobias as well. We'll see. All his life he was afraid to cross a bridge. He'd always wait unless the water was too deep or the embankment was too steep. Now you see, uh, from this stanza, the poet is telling us that he is having, this person upside down is having a phobia as well. So because of that, he never crosses a bridge. Actually, it's strange. Because of this disease, because of some disorder, uh, he behaves like this. And he can't read, he can't write, and he can't convey his ideas. So, from all these things, he can't uh, understand the difference between fluid and land. From all these things, we can say that this person is not a normal person. He is having some disorders. And in here, the poet has used uh, parenthesis. Parenthesis means the brackets. By the words inside the brackets, he's uh, describing his idea in a very good way. From that, we can understand about this person in a very clear manner. And the other thing is, you can see the rhyming pattern of this stanza. In the first two lines, you can't see a very good rhyming pattern. But in the last two lines, you can see a good rhyming pattern, deep, steep. And first two lines, it's not like that. Afraid, wait. It's not rhyming. So we can say the rhyming pattern is in a disorder, not like other previous stanzas. In here, the rhyming pattern become uh, disorder. So by this disorder also, the poet is going to show us this man is also having some kind of disorder. He went into a restaurant. The waiter said, "What do you want?" He said, "I'd like a pair of socks with clocks on them and in a box." Now see, in here, this stanza is very important, because from this stanza, the poet has used his diction of words in a very strong manner to show the way of this person very clearly. We can get a very good idea about this man then. So now we can say this man is actually strange. He is having a very strange behavior, because he went to a restaurant and asking pair of socks. Actually, it's an unrealistic request. It's an unusual request. So it shows the absurd behavior of this person. And the poet had described it by putting a comma and put a phrase, and in a box. He describes it further, and in a box. So from this stanza, from this humorous stanza, the poet is going to tell us that actually this upside down is a very strange person. The circus came to town one day. Of course, he went without delay, and everyone said upside down was funnier than the circus clown. So, by using, now you can see a circus came personification is also there, and day, delay, down, clown, rhyming pattern is also there. Now you must be able to understand these techniques from the poem. So, now this, but though there's a clown in the circus, all the people in the town talk about upside down. It means he is remarkable. He is funnier than that clown in the circus. So, from these comments of the people, the poet tries to show the strange behavior, the absurd behavior of this person. He's like a clown. He makes others laugh. Upside down makes others laugh. Not purposely sometimes, because of his behavior. He, because of his strange behavior. And the poet has used as an exaggeration also. He is funnier than the circus clown. He exaggerates this upside down, and he emphasized that upside down's behavior is really strange. Just yesterday, the postman brought a letter to him from his aunt. Shall I read it? Perhaps I ought. Perhaps I will. Perhaps I can't. Now see, sometimes he's trying to read it. Perhaps I ought. Perhaps means perhaps. He's not sure that he can read it or not. He's trying to do something. He's trying to read this, but he can't. So it's like a dialogue form. Before the stanza in the restaurant one, also like a dialogue, like a conversation. That is also a technique. And here also you can see a very good rhyming pattern. Brought aunt, aunt, ought, can't. Aunt can't, brought ought. These are rhyming words. So you can see a very good rhyming pattern. But the rhyming pattern is changing now. Now, at the very beginning, the rhyming words were there in first and second line and third and fourth line, like that. And at the middle part, the rhyming pattern has changed. There we couldn't see a rhyming pattern in here. Here, we couldn't see a rhyming pattern. Afraid word is not rhyming, but deep, steep are rhyming. And again, it's became to rhyme. No, the words became to rhyme again. And now again, first and third lines are rhyming, and second and fourth lines are rhyming. So rhyming pattern is changed in the poem. And he got a letter from his aunt and he is trying to read it, but he can't. So, from here, we can say that because he can't read it, we can say that it gives his educational level also. But the other thing is, in another way, in the previous stanza, it says that he can't read. He reads from back to forth. So, he can't read the words. So it may be because of a disorder, or sometimes it may be because he doesn't have a good education. And the last stanza, he eyed it this way, eyed it that. Then he stuck it in his hat. His auntie wrote, "Dearest boy, all you do is to annoy. Wearing flannels when it's hot, going naked when it's not. You must behave as others do. If there are two, have respect for you." Now, this auntie actually loves him, and through the aunt, further and further, this poet has described the strange behavior of this upside down. She is telling wearing flannels when it's hot, going naked when it's not. So it shows that this person deviates from social norms. So because of that, sometimes you must behave as others do if they are to have respect for you. This aunt wants to get the respect for his nephew from the society. If he behaves like this, she definitely knows that society will blame him. Sometimes society will feel uh, kind or feel sad about this man. So though the society shows very sympathetic feelings towards this person, it should not be the way. He must behave like other people in the society. He must accept the social norms, and he must behave as a person, as a human being. So if he does everything in another way, in a different way, it may be distract his personality. So the people never respect to this person. They will laugh at him. They will tell that he is a stupid man. Sometimes he may be, sometimes he may be a person who has some disorders within himself. So we have done the analysis of the poem. And before that, before talking about the themes, I want to show you that this through this auntie, the poet wants to give the message that if we want to get the respect from the society, we must behave according to the society, or we must behave with behave with the accepted things by the society. Otherwise, if we do strange things by going opposite way to social norms, it may be disrupt our personality. So that is the message that the poet wants to give us. And the other thing is, poet wants to show that sometimes there may be people that who have some disorders within themselves. So we must not say stupid, foolish. We must not use these words for these kind of people without knowing their reality. So that's the message wanted to give by the poet, by the writer. Okay. So, these are the techniques of the poem. Sorry, erroneously, I have mentioned as themes. These are the techniques of the poem. After discussing the themes, after discussing the techniques, we will move to themes. So you can see, as I told you from the very beginning of the poem, you can see a very simple language, and the language is humorous, and you can see a very playful language. This is a very interesting poem. So, by mentioning about absurdity or the strange behavior of this person, and by using exaggerations, the poet gives us the idea in a very humorous way. And you know that there was a very good rhyming pattern in the poem, and the rhyming pattern was also changing time to time. And the poem is very ironical. Why we say so? When we look at the topic of the poem, first of all, upside down. So it's strange. We don't know that this is about a person, but the poem is about a person. So by the topic itself, we can say that the poet has used the topic in an ironical way. And the other thing is, he is talking about this man as a stupid man, as a foolish man, uneducated man. But when we think deeply, we can see that this man has some disorders, phobias. So we can say the poem is ironical. And use of parentheses. Parentheses means use of brackets. You know that in the stanza that we have done this, and in that stanza you have seen within the bracket the poet has described another thing, this one. So in here you can see now the poet has described this person's behavior by using brackets. So he further describes this. It gives us an additional information about the person. And other than these techniques, as I told you, there was a personification, visual imageries were there, and it's like a dialogue, like a conversation, and it started as a story, means like narrating a story. So these are also techniques. These things also you can write as techniques. Okay, we will look into some questions before talking about the themes. What does the title reveal about the person's behavior? Okay, this is the answer, but before looking at the answer, I like if you can guess the answer. So it suggests, the title suggests as he is totally an abnormal person, upside down. So it's abnormal, unusual. It gives the implication that he may be a social misfit. And the next question, what types of actions of upside down are described in the poem? A very easy question. I like if you can guess the answers. I think you have found some answers, and these are some of the answers. For that, you can read it. It describes many of his funny actions that create humor. He does the direct opposite of what he asked to do. He does not know, the land does not move with them when they sail in a boat. He is afraid to cross a bridge. He goes to a restaurant to buy a pair of socks. These are the actions done by this upside down. He does not directly read the letter sent by his aunt. He's thinking, can I, it will be okay to read this? Shall I, am I okay for read this like this? He's thinking. The writer suggests that he is funny in his behavior. In addition, he says the behavior is abnormal. That's why we can say that this is ironical, because the writer is in the first stanza, he is showing us a funny character, a foolish character. But after reading some parts, we get to know that his behavior is actually abnormal. He's having some phobias. He's having some mental disorders. Okay, we will see the answer. He lacks common sense and knowledge about everyday things. He doesn't live according to the accepted norms of the society. Another question. What does the aunt try to explain or communicate to her nephew? She tries to advise him to be normal and use his common sense and be familiar with real life situations. She says he has to follow the socially accepted behavior or norms to be a respectable person. Now, in here, we can say another thing as well. Now, if this auntie knows very well about this nephew, she must be aware of his phobias as well. These are not normal. He purposely not doing these things. She must be aware of these things. So by auntie's character also, the poet is giving us a message. If we see a person like this, we must understand this is abnormal. There should be a disorder within him. Okay, we'll move to the other. Describe the funny behavioral patterns of upside down which arouse humor. Behavior patterns. He turns to left when he is asked to turn to right. Expressions, perhaps I will, etc. And there are many in the last stanza and the restaurant incident, all these things you can take for this one. Describe the implied meaning of the following. If he was told to turn to right, he turned to left out of spite. The behavior of upside down was funny. He always did the opposite of what he was expected to do. Other than this, if you have some other ideas also, we can consider about those answers, because in here we can say that his behavior is abnormal. No, we can say like that way as well. He is abnormal. And sometimes he may be doing this because to get the attention of others. And another thing is, he may be angry or he may be hate to the society. That's why sometimes that may be the reason that he doesn't do the things told by the people in the society. That's why he left out of spite. So in that way also we can say. Okay, finally, we came to discuss about the themes. Now, social misfits are laughed at. So now this person is a misfit person to the society because of his behavior and because of his educational level. So because of these things, people maybe laugh at him. Cynosure. Cynosure means a center of attraction or attention. He is the person, he is funnier than the clown of the circus. Each and every people in the town, they talk about this upside down other than the clown. So, we can say this person is a very famous person in the town. Sometimes it may be the reason for his absurd behavior. People have to conform to socially accepted norms. By the last stanza, Auntie is telling that Auntie is telling about his behavior, the strange behavior of this person. So we can say that we can't stay in a society, we can't live in a society as our wish. No, we have to accept social norms. There are some acceptable things in the society and unacceptable things as well. If we follow unacceptable things, other people will blame at us. Other people will ignore us. Other people will laugh at us. So, people have to conform to socially accepted norms other than thinking about their own life. People should have closeness to everyday life to avoid being funny or stupid. Now, you know, in here, it says about the bridge, how he walked through the beach. Now, in here, It shows that he is not a normal person. We can't see a normal behavior in this person. It may be because of a phobia, it may be because of a mental disorder, or sometimes it may be because he is not a person that uh, very close to every day-to-day life. That may also can be a reason. Another question is, how effectively does the writer use the literary features or techniques to convey the theme or theme? I have put this question after the themes because it's about themes. The title itself is used as a metaphor, conveys the funny nature of the person. Storytelling method and metaphor are used in the first two lines. It suggests how he became the center of attraction of the town. So now we have come to the end of our uh, discussion, and I think that you have got something from my presentation and hope you will write many answers regarding these poems. Please practice to write answers, and if you like to see my videos further and further, please subscribe my channel. Thank you for listening.